Let's keep them flowing. Where do you come from? Where are you going? What are you feeling tonight? And what are you showing? Where do you come from? 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 Where are you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep them flowing.
Hello, welcome, bienvenue to the show, and welcome to Cloud&Console, the podcast that deep dives into the world of gaming, featuring the most exciting games of our time. Join our one Canadian host and maker of chaos this week, as they explore their personal interests and share their passion for gaming and cloud gamers. Every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to hear these friends who met through Google Stadia discuss their latest adventures in gaming, including their favorite game from software titles, as well as other exciting titles. From in-depth analysis to hilarious banter, these smart and funny and good-looking hosts bring their unique Canadian and American perspective to the world of gaming. So sit back, relax, and get ready for the epic ride through the world of gaming with Cloud&Console. Sorry, I had some improvisation on the opening there. What's up, Bliss, Ray the Gaming Cyborg, and Purple Haze? Thank you so much. Hope you weren't getting too freaked out with Bramble from Purple Haze. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you play all these scary games, Purple. Thank you, Maker of Chaos, for joining tonight and leveling up the podcast again for another week. Thank you, sir. How have you been doing this week? What have you been up to in gaming? Tell us a little bit about what's been going on in your gaming life.
I know one of the games I've been playing this past week, and that's
course.
Bloodborne. Yeah,
carrying me on your back.
I don't know that NPC carried us on that last one with Rom.
Yeah, I have the clip. Actually, I brought it for my clip. Oh my god, the whole last third was just the NPC.
Yeah, that magic is a lot of damage. And yeah, I've been playing that. I'm trying to think what else I played other than Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I dabbled a little bit with that. Didn't get too much in it. I had a long day yesterday, so I wasn't really able to dive too much into it. Trying to think
You're
of other
helping
games.
somebody through a game, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Neo?
Um, I have been playing Neo. I'm trying to catch up to my brother so I can play that with him. I did help him a little bit out with Elden Ring. Him and his buddies were playing that too, so gave him a few tips on how to level up his game on there.
Sorry, Bliss, we couldn't get you on the show. I sent you the invite link, and I'm not sure what would be blocking it. I tried to look through the settings, I couldn't figure it out. But if you try maybe the first invite link again or one of the new ones, I do apologize. And what's up, Vet Gaming coming in here? Hope all is well, dude. No cowboys allowed. How come I wasn't asked to be a guest? Oh, Rip Maker. Oh, I'm sorry. I did put up the public announcement before the show. You must not be in my Discord, Cowboy. Um, but yeah, stay tuned. I'll send you the link for the Discord, although everybody needs to be in another Discord. Yeah, the Bloodborne boys. Bloodborne has been exciting. I've been gaming on that probably the earlier part of the week. It's been really exciting for me to play the backlog of the From Software games because I have such appreciation when I played and experienced Elden Ring for the first time. Because really, I'd felt like I'd been on a drought in the Stadia universe, and that was the first time I had like a laptop, and I was like, first game, Elden Ring, downloading it, need to play this. Everyone's talking about it, and 115 or 20 hours later, my first playthrough was complete, and I was blown away. Next game, Sekiro, and then moving on the list. So I appreciate Maker taking me through this because Bloodborne is a maze that I would get so lost in, for sure.
It was quite confusing at times. Even I had to look up like one or two things while we were going through it.
Cowboy, my apologies, man. I think the Stream Elements brings it up. I try not to advertise my Discord all too much because I never think anyone needs to join another Discord. But yeah, that's Cowboy. I will invite you next time. I promise, good sir. You will not be skipped over for sure. At Cowboy King Entertainment, no cowboys allowed. Oh no, there's definitely cowboys allowed. Other than that, I got into some Dead Island 2 with N7 earlier this week. I had a great time on GeForce Now. Thank you to Deep Silver for allowing me to get onto the gold tier, really getting some visceral action in, slicing and dicing some zombies. I know Ray was loving it up as well. We have a stream up there if you want to check it out. Got some cool weapons and definitely worth seeing that flesh system in action. I have not gone back to it and gone through it because the first person mode to me and the chopping up zombies, it's almost too real. The graphics are too real. It's like, oh, at least Bloodborne, I feel like I'm set back. Third person is a little bit cartoony, like it's got that feel. It's not too realistic for me. I'm gonna be worried when they come out with like movie assets in game and we're running Unreal Engine 6. Rouster, thanks for joining. Hope all is well, man. I need your Discord to bring chaos to like Maker does in mine from time to time. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we have some chaos. Rouster says time for bed as usual. The Rudic streams. Yes, I know. I schedule all my streams for Rouster's bedtime. But I hope you get that well needed rest because we all know you need a good sleep to recover that body. So hope all is well, Rouster. Well, without further ado, we've been talking about some games we've been playing. Let's pop over onto the newsroom. So, Maker, I'm going to throw you into the newsroom now. That you're on top of the universe, but we'll get you there. All right. So, what we have in the newsroom today is GeForce Now gaming blog. And did I have a link in my show notes ready to go? No. So, you're going to have to bear with me for a second. Behind me, we have a Resident Evil. So, that's awesome that they're releasing some Capcom stuff. Maker, sorry you have to sit through a little bit of housekeeping, but they do sponsor my gameplay. So I got to give shout out to them in the ultimate tier, giving me that awesome power. As well as don't forget to check out the 6 month priority membership, just $29.99. Uh, Definitely a very cheap price to get into cloud gaming services. Excellent tier. Um, there's nothing really you're losing on this experience. You get to crank all your settings up to ultimate and still enjoy the very best of games. It's a lot of fun, huge selection, 16,000 titles. Don't miss it. So, yes, some housekeeping there. Resident Evil 2 and 3 and Biohazard enter the universe of GeForce Now, as well as two new locations, Stockholm and Portland. Have you ever been to Portland, Maker?
No, I've not. The closest I got was I went to Oregon, so I was
Oh,
just under
okay.
Washington. So
Nice. And have you ever been to Stockholm?
no, I have actually outside of the U.S. I think I've only ever gone to like the Bahamas, and that's about it.
Oh, nice. That's probably going to be sweet. I have been to Portland, and it was a pretty cool and unique town. First time I've seen Voodoo Donuts. Have you ever been to a Voodoo Donuts? With all their
Nope.
crazy style donuts. Oh my gosh, it was fun. They had a big thing, keep Portland weird, pasted on a building. I remember somebody in jeans riding with a big boom box blasting music. It's a fun time in the city. But great, they got access to 4080 and the super tiers, the super pods there for the ultimate tier. And I had a question here. What is your favorite Resident Evil out of the series? And have you played all the Resident Evils?
I've played these Resident Evils. I didn't ever play the original Resident Evil 2, but I played the remake. Same with 3,
Ah, okay.
and I've played 7 as well.
Yes,
They're all
Purple Maker did have was awesome enough to come in here, and SPG did say he was having some issues with his back, so he was not able to join. But Maker of Chaos is here to entertain and delight. So thank you, sir, for joining. And yeah, so you were saying that you've played Resident Evil 2, 3, 4,
and 7. I've played 4 the original and the remake, and
and the
7.
remake,
Yeah, and
and
Village.
7, and Village.
Yeah.
So you're missing 5 and 6.
Yeah, I've never played 5 and 6. I played a little bit of the first game, or Resident Evil, the original, um, but I didn't really get into it as much.
Okay. And out of those games, which would you say is your best experience?
Ooh, that's a really tough one. Uh, Resident
That's
Evil
fine. You if
2.
you Oh,
I was gonna say Resident Evil 2 remake has to be
yeah.
one of my favorites, as well as Resident Evil
Interesting.
4. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I think those two are probably my favorites. 7
Nice.
is close after that though.
So I would say my favorites was actually a game you never played. It was 5 because for me these Resident Evil games are too scary and I need somebody beside me the whole time. So I got a co-op partner with me because I don't want visions of like zombies coming at me all day and night. So I really enjoyed 5 with the co-op experience, and when it got to 6 and I wanted to continue the experience of co-op, they added a co-op player, but the co-op player was only able to like follow you, watch, and didn't hold a gun, didn't hold a weapon. It was a very strange experience. So I never got back into the series after that, and I never actually played the earlier versions. Um, I got the Resident Evil 4 for virtual reality, but I was never able to finish it because I can't stomach a game on VR. I'm just from a different generation. I don't know.
I actually
Yeah, I
played
know
through the
you.
VR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were saying you've played VR, so
Yeah, it's fun VR. I enjoyed it. I played through the in its entirety in VR. Um, it's fun, but I don't think it really changed anything drastically for me playing it in VR.
right.
I have played a little bit of Seven in VR. I went over to a friend's house who had the PSVR and played a little
Oh
bit of
wow.
that. I kind of got sick when I played on that one after about like an hour. Um, but
And you're
it's
wired, right? From my
yeah,
understanding.
with the first PSVR, it was like a I think there's like multiple wires. It wasn't the best VR experience. I'll say that.
Ah. And with the PSVR 2, you're also tethered.
You have one
Yeah.
cable with PSVR 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand why it's not Bluetooth, but that's not for me to decide.
I do think that's the next step. I think if they're able to stream the data to the headset to like kind of like how the Quest has a there's like an Air link where you can link it to your PC and it streams it to the Quest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's the next kind of breakthrough with that.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see it on PSVR 3 if PSVR 2 does well in their lifespan. I think that'll be the judging factor. Because Xbox abandoned that interactive space for their gaming hardware, to my knowledge. Like they had the
Yeah,
Kinect, and then they sort of dropped off. They didn't jump into sort of that interactive experience after that.
there's actually a new rumor that I think came out within the past like day or two that Microsoft might actually be working on a new VR headset, but
Oh,
it's just a
wow.
rumor, so I don't know how credible it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't see that on your Twitter board, so it's not news yet.
Oh, uh, I didn't see it from any of the people that I like to particularly follow. It's just kind of got suggested for me, so
Let's see. Well, we have some newness as GeForce Now describes. After Resident Evil, we have Shadows of Doubt. After Image, Roots of Pacha, Bramble, the Mountain King, which you can see on Purple Stream, as she was just streaming 2 hours ago, so you can catch that on Purple Haze if you're catching this on the VOD or on the YouTube podcast, as well as The Swordsman, X, Survival, and Poker Club. That's an interesting one. Playing some virtual poker. That's always fun. Do you a poker player, Maker? Some Texas?
I've played Texas Hold'em, but I'm not a huge poker player, except with like friends, maybe as to pass the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Play it casually. You're not out there quitting your job, going to Vegas, being a professional poker player yet.
Oh no.
But maybe after Poker Club, you can become with some practice. So that is our housekeeping. GeForce Now asks actually one last time best zombie fighting weapon go. And I have here on the note that I'm going to answer. So what? That was not the tweet. What would be your best fighting zombie weapon?
Ooh, that's a tough
Hmm.
one. It would obviously be
I got one.
something lightsaber.
Lightsaber.
Maybe if I knew the force, yes.
Is that hyphened? Lightsaber. Well, what's that guy? He was able to use it without the Force with the Mandalorian, right? He used the
Well,
the dark saber, whatever it was.
I would want something with a little bit of range to it. I was thinking spear, but I feel like with a spear, it's also hard to manage multiple enemies at one time.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so it's a tough one. So definitely something with a lot of reach.
Mm, I see. So we're just gonna say something with a lot of reach.
You can just say
All
spear.
right,
Spear's fine.
spear.
Go
All
with
right,
that.
Maker's going 300 on these guys. There we go. So we answered some GeForce Now. We had some fun there. Thank you, GeForce Now. All right. And into our show notes here, we can find that there is a new Microsoft deal. We know that Microsoft was out there making a whole bunch of deals, and this one I found interesting looking into. Enware, if you've heard of them, they are offering something that I have not seen from Cloud Gaming yet. So this is their site, or that's their information here, and I have their site here. I wanted to check out. So from what I saw, they offered VR cloud gaming, which was very
Interesting.
interesting to me. I've never seen that before. But
I
essentially, they're another cloud gaming platform. They've got a lot of the titles. They've got actually pretty big titles. See, you see that Fallout 4 VR?
Yeah, I've only ever seen one other kind of cloud platform that had some sort of VR, and it was Shadow, and it was the app for it was in beta, and that's about it.
Ah, Shadow, right? Because Shadow had a VR extension to it. Then you could use on your helmet. I call it a
Uh,
helmet. That's it.
yeah, you kind of like synced it up with your Shadow account through like the Quest. I believe I did have to run it through a specific add-on to get it to work, though.
Well, a lot of big names here in gaming with VR titles. So Microsoft seems to be finding these guys faster than everyone else can and signing them up. Like, it's interesting to know, they're European based, but how long they've been around. How many subscribers do these people have? Built by gamers for gamers, all on cloudware. But it's cool. It's cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these guys getting some action. I mean, if I created a game company, this would be awesome. So they're a startup company from Spain, actually. Passionate, motivated entrepreneurs. So cool stuff. Any
Yep.
comments on Enware Maker?
No, just another company, another deal.
Another deal. Microsoft's out finding them. Well, I suspect that they're finding these people because they would like all of these companies to run their software on their cloudware, sorry, on Windows. Am I mistaken? Would that be the move to sort of infiltrate all of these cloudware companies and make sure that they're on Windows when they go to the cloud?
Um, I'd assume most cloud is running Windows. I mean, even I believe Luna was supposed to be running some form of like Windows operating system through theirs, but I'm not 100% sure.
Really? Luna's not on Amazon? I'm shocked at
Or
this, not
on,
knowing that.
well, I mean, it's on Amazon. It's on the Amazon
Or
kind of
like,
cloud, but like the base
right.
is a win. I believe it's a Windows, but I'm not 100% sure. Someone could probably fact
Interesting.
check me on that one.
We have. Hey, Crystal, thanks for stopping by. Dual lightsaber, says Bliss. Yeah, that would be a. See, I feel like this is why I don't use the dual lightsabers or the double sided lightsaber in the game. I feel like I would burn myself or cut myself if I had more than one blade to concentrate. So just like through sheer immersion, I don't want to have any other sides to my lightsaber.
So From what I'm reading from Tom Warren, this was back in 2020, I believe, around when Luna dropped. It says it's powered by Windows servers and NVIDIA GPUs. Um, it supports more than 100 games thanks to this Windows support, allowing developers to move their existing Windows games over to an AWS instance and provide cloud gaming streaming. So yeah, it's kind of like a version of Windows.
Wow, that is interesting. They sort of have dominated the cloud space then.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Microsoft, they're off to suck your blood this May 2nd. Redfall is coming out, and lots of people are excited for the release. Maker, what are you thinking? Are you excited? How are you feeling about this game?
I'm interested. I'll probably play it at some point. I've played a few of the other Arcane games, but it's definitely not on the top of my list. I still need to play through Survivor, and I've got a couple more games that I need to play through. Zelda's coming out in less than 2 weeks as well, so I've got that. I actually picked up the Zelda Switch recently, so
Ooh.
I'm excited to play that.
So would you get it digitally, the actual game, the software, or would you purchase the physical?
I already purchased. I pre-ordered the physical, mostly for a pre-order bonus that I'm going to be getting.
What? You get a pre-order bonus in the game?
No, it's not for in-game. It's for it's a physical item that you can get. I specifically the one I'll be getting is a wall scroll that has the Master Sword, where it's kind of destroyed, like you see in some of the imaging or images for
interesting.
the new Zelda.
Right, because well, I guess there's such a big time gap in between the first and the second one. It's like, how do you keep losing the goddamn Master Sword, Link? Like,
I'm assuming there'll be something to repair it or fix it in this game.
Yeah. Those TAM trials, those trials of the Master Sword were so difficult. Redfall's Vampire comes out May 2nd. That's what we started talking about, but jumped off to Link.
Yeah.
Be sure to catch it when it comes out. If you got Game Pass, it's coming out day one to you. That's going to be awesome for you. I myself personally do not have Game Pass, so I don't think it'll be a game I will jump into unless it becomes the new craze and everybody and their friends are jumping in and playing. No, I'll give it an experience if it's good and the community's playing, because I'm always in for some good times. But we'll see. Only time will tell. I just hope it's not a buggy mess like we've seen on stage for a lot of games releasing. And yeah, we can only hope for the best. I mean, Microsoft released what's the Minecraft game? Legends?
Minecraft Legends, I believe.
And that was not a buggy mess, was it?
Not from my understanding. A lot of it had to do with it just not being, the best. I've heard it takes a while to get into it before you start really having fun with the game.
Right. So there's a big tutorial before you get into having fun with the mechanics. Well, this is a game I think I was never initially going to get excited for, but it's going to be fun to see some robots and really have fun here. So I'm going to skip through it because I'm not sure how well the video will come through here. But what I'm talking about on this sort of clip here is... Oh, there we go. Armored Core, Fires of Rubicon, if I'm saying it correctly. And sort of this is a mech shooter game coming from Software. And this is the 6th game in the series, if I'm understanding this correctly, because it's Armored Core 6. So that is that the gameplay you were telling me that was.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
watched it again, and you're saying that's because that's not game.
yeah. That's gameplay.
This
That's
is not
gameplay.
gameplay. This is not gameplay.
Yeah, it's just stylized so that you can see what it's gonna look like, or to make it cooler looking to sell more copies.
Right, because that looks like gameplay. Like it's hard for me to
Yeah, that
understand like what aspects of this are gameplay because that does not look like gameplay to me. That looks like a cinematic
it's
event.
gameplay, but they're using like cinematic cameras to show it off, basically.
I mean, that looked like the robot itself had arms that were coming out
There's
and
there's gonna be
firing
a
at
bunch of different
like what is the
styles of
lore
robots to
behind
play.
that? Like, oh my goodness. Like where did these people come from? Like is it like Gundam times? I don't know. The
I
Japanese
know the
are
boss battles look cool, like on this last bit here, um, where they're showing some of the boss gameplay.
so they come up here. I mean, this is what I mean. It's hard to tell. That looks like gameplay for a hot second. Like this sword fight, I don't know. That laser beam, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks like gameplay right there. See, he's dodging and weaving.
Yeah. It looks like a very intense fight. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
You like
that's
that with all the rockets?
it's like their take on Bullet Hell, almost like that style of game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be more. I wonder if they'll have co-op. Well, you said something on this when I mentioned co-op, didn't you? Did
No,
you say it's
I don't
not
know
going to
if they
be co-op?
will.
No.
I'm not sure if the previous Armored Cores had co-op. They none of these clips showed a second person in a mech, like as like a co-op companion. So my assumption, because like when you watched Elden Ring, there were they showed it off in one of the first trailers. Someone gets summoned, and they help the other player out, I
Right.
believe. And then in this, they've yet to show any co-op, so I'm gonna assume it's single player.
Okay.
Personally,
Interesting. And yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. I'm sure they'll tell us more as we get closer to the date. August 25th is the one to mark in your calendar. And it's the number 6. So have you ever played another one of these Armored Core games? I can't
I've
believe they
never,
came out 6.
but it's been a while. I think since the last Armored Core that they released, and I'm hoping that with all the experience that they've gotten from all these previous Souls games, that's going to help maybe translate to a better experience for the Armored Core series. I've heard they're very complex
Right.
and have a lot of systems usually. So I'm
Hey!
wondering if they're going to make it more user
Carrier
friendly.
Gaming, man. Thanks for stopping on by. Thanks for showing your support, man. Super appreciated. Hope all is going well with you, dude. And Megatron X, what's going on? Thank you for stopping on by. We're chilling with Maker of Chaos talking games. And we're talking Armored Core right now because I know that we're both super excited for it. So, the first game in the series Armored Core was released in 1997. While the most recent Armored Core 4, yeah, but I want to know the ones in between. So yeah, it's supposed to be very technically heavy. It's supposed to be very like uh, to me it looks like bullet hell mixed with technical shooter. But I don't know. It's going to be third person. Actually,
Yeah.
2013 was Armored Core 5.
So just before
Yeah.
the PlayStation 4 era, I'm assuming.
Yeah, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. So I'm wondering, do I have access to that on PS Plus? I would be curious.
Probably. I don't think PS Plus has Armored Core.
They should. Like, give me access to it. I mean, get me hyped up for the game, you know? Because Armored Core 4 came out in 2008. So it's like, how have I not played or seen or heard of these games? Because they seem like not too far back in the past. But yeah, cool to see.
Well, I don't see an option to buy it for PS4, so that might be the issue. is
They
that
take it
since none
away?
have released. Oh, I don't see any Armored Cores released for PS4 because the last one was on 360 and PlayStation 3.
And they
And you know
wouldn't
how
add it.
PS4 doesn't have compatibility with PS3. You
Right.
have to stream PS3 games.
Yes, and I know there's a section in PS Plus that's PS3 games.
I don't think they have Armored Core for that though, unfortunately.
That'd be so cool to boot up. That would be such good value for me right now.
It'd be good marketing if PS Plus said, "Hey, we're adding Armored Core games to our lineup of PS Plus." I would probably resubscribe to the premium just so that I can stream and try out some more
Wow.
Armored Cores.
Wow.
Because I don't
Really?
want to pay full price for these games, But if
No.
I'm able to try it with the subscription, then
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna double check after the show. I think you're right. I think they don't have Armored Core up there, but I will want to give it a check. Speaking of PlayStation games coming out, we have the May games that are released. They have the lineup of Grid Legends, Chivalry 2, which is Mr. Wilson's favorite game, and Descenders. So I've never heard of Descenders. You heard of Descenders?
It's this biking game.
Right.
I actually recently played a little bit of it, and you kind of go from different races on different tracks, and then you do specific stuff to get extra points, and then you can then spend the points for specific things, upgrades, and stuff of that nature.
Okay. Well, some extreme sports and racing, and yeah, hacking and slashing and chivalry. So to me, I'm not going to get into any of these three games, but uh, and the two sort of racing similar games don't give me like a massive variety. But I do respect lots of multiplayer options, so I will give that a plus in that lineup.
Yeah, I technically have access to all these on Game Pass already,
Right.
and even though they've been out there for a long time, I've only played one of the three titles.
Chivalry? Right, you played?
Yeah, Chivalry 2 was added last year, I think.
Yeah, and it's crossplay, right? I believe it is.
I'm not sure if it is or not.
I
I can look it
believe
up real
people
quick
in
though.
PC were playing with Xbox and PlayStation when we were playing. But yeah, wicked awesome May games available to download from May the 2nd. So be sure to check out, claim them if you're on the PlayStation, any tier there, you're able to grab them.
You're right. Chivalry 2 is crossplay.
And Chivalry 2 is the crossplay, so you can get in with all your friends if they're playing on other platforms. Oh, this one I found very interesting. This news article you retweeted here. So the cost of games is going up astronomical. Astronomical. Oh my goodness. So God of War 3 had a budget of $44 million, and that was 13 years ago. While God of War Ragnarok has a budget of $200 million in 13 years. It grew by 4.5 times as much to make a game. The article goes
I
on it. I tried to read the article, but yeah. What's your comments here, Maker?
I was just gonna say, I think recently there was another article that said that some games cost even like $1 billion to make, but I think that was more so
What?
talking about Call of Duty and their shenanigans.
Really?
So,
Call of Duty costing
yeah,
$1 billion to make. That's
I could
insane.
see it, but I think it's just the amount of like workforce you have for those particular games.
I'm sure there's so
Is
much wasted money in there. Like somebody's just not doing
probably,
anything and getting paid.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just games are getting more expensive. Games are taking longer to make. It's just when you add and add and add, it just gets more and more. And that, more time to make games equals more money.
Well, hopefully now we'll have a tool in AI that will kind of cut back on these prices. So maybe we'll see that sort of implemented into games. Maybe we'll have some growing pains, but I don't know if we can survive, in in however many years, another 4.5% growth or times growth in game price. Like we'll just not get very many games. They'll just dwindle away to only massive studios, but I don't know. I think it's a huge, huge price tag to make a game. Seeing that,
Yeah.
did you have any other takeaways from this? Because I just kind of sort of took that on myself and said I just think it's craziness how the game is expanding in such prices. Because I know Forspoken was
I
a
think it's
hundred
interesting.
million.
Yeah, I know Forspoken was a fair amount, and I think it is a risk a lot of these developers and companies take when they build these games because they could easily flop. Like look at Halo Infinite. I'm pretty sure that did not do the numbers that Microsoft was hoping for with Halo. And
Yeah,
while it started, I think it started good. I just think that not enough people were investing in it and spending that they wanted, and it's risky business making these games.
risky business. Yeah, because you're almost like it's almost like Hollywood. You're making the movie, you're producing it, you're trying to get your tickets, your game sold, but it's even higher prices than movies. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's an interesting industry, and I don't get how people make their money back on something like this on a subscription model. Because I got to think Starfield's got to cost X amount of money, and they've got to get how much of the subscription model to make up for the Starfield costs. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I realized that after a little bit, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing.
What do we have next here on the old list here? So Gorilla, if you're interested in the Horizon Forbidden West, they are up to something new, and that is a third game. So if you love the series, you can look forward to another installment as they are planning to do it. Well, they casually confirmed, so I think I read that they sort of brought it up, which could have been even a mistake. I don't know, by the way it sounds like it.
Um, no, it was actually in the there was a specific article on the Gorilla website that they had a post about. Specifically, one of their lead teams is moving up the chain to work under like Sony directly. I can't remember the exact position that she moved up to, but in that they also talked about looking forward to their new games that they're working on, and briefly mentioned the new that they are working on a new Horizon game. Yeah.
Exactly. Aloy's next adventure in our exciting online project. So is that two separate games, do you think?
I believe it's two separate games because it's already been kind of leaked gameplay of their a multiplayer title that they were working on,
Oh,
um,
wow.
which is
Interesting.
supposed to take place in that Horizon universe.
Wow.
Um,
Okay. That's cool. Um, I don't know how they do multiplayer with bows because a lot of that is freeze time and concentration, and that's hard thing to adjust in online. But I guess we'll see what sort of they draw from it. Maybe they'll, I don't know, reinvent it,
well,
sort of become tribes.
Well, what it looked like to me, based on the images and stuff of that nature, is it was more of a co-op game fighting the monsters, more so kind of almost Monster Hunter looking.
Right.
Um, but but we'll see how if they change it to offer like a PvP solution, that might be a bit different as well.
Yeah, it was more
Uh,
cartoony, I think you were saying as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh well, I Gorilla has been nothing but impressing people as of late. So they do have a Game of the Year nomination as well as great DLC out right now, although it's a little short, I'll say. And I thought I heard you could explore the clouds in the DLC. I thought the clouds were going to be explorable environments, but
No,
they're not. I
no,
thought I heard
well,
that.
you can fly through them. It someone I can't remember who it was that, but they mentioned briefly, like almost like it was a dungeon in the clouds or something like that. But I believe they were
Look
just
at
talking
that.
the
That's not what
complexity
you're
of
doing
it.
in the game. Yeah. It's not like this. It's not like and I thought they said it was going to be explorable areas in the cloud, but I don't know.
I think they
It's
were
my
more
one
kind of
complaint.
trying to say that it was a different experience with the cloud being able to react to you and stuff of that nature.
Just like a more interactive environment. I will say this dive into the ocean is a neat feature. But a lot of cool things. Maker has not got into Burning Shores, but I'm sure
I'll
once they
probably
give
pick it
it
up
to
later.
PlayStation people, he'll be all up for it. It's a short little expansion. You can finish it in under 10 hours. So new
Yeah,
dungeon would cost.
I think I kind of got burned a little bit with Miles Morales when I got that, and I beat it within like 6 hours, and I dropped a lot. Oh, I technically dropped. I think it was like 50
Miles
for it on
Morales
PS5.
was a lot longer than Horizon DLC.
I beat Miles in like 6 hours, and then I haven't gotten back to it
Oh wow, you
since.
speed run
Yeah,
that. Um,
I just did the main missions, and that was about it. I did
yeah,
one side mission though.
there's like
And
six chapters, right? So you could get it done in 1 hour per chapter easily.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, this is something that I'm sure hits close to you. We were talking a bit more before the show. Sad here. Well, blocking our faces. Well, fine, EA, just do it. Do some more bad stuff. We are aware that Star Wars Jedi isn't performing to our standards. What do you mean your standards? You released the game, EA. Okay, for a certain percentage of our PC players, so certain percentage. They're not saying it's happening to everybody. Particularly those with high-end machines or certain specific configurations. So they're blaming high-end power machines, which is funny. So they go on to say, for example, players using cutting edge multi threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11 are encountering problems on Windows 10 or high end GPUs, coupled with lower end performing CPUs, will also have unexpected frame loss. Rest assured, we are working to address these issues quickly. While there is no single comprehensive solution for PC performance, the team has been working on fixes and will be believed to improve the performance across the spectrum of configurations. Blah, blah, blah. They're committed to fixing the game that they released for full price. How, what was your experience as a PC Jedi Survivor gamer?
like I played it about 2 hours, and for me, yeah, it's frame rate's inconsistent. It's pretty bad, and it I believe it got to the point where it was like hurting my eyes because it
That's never good.
no, it's not. It's just the as it was saying, like it fluctuates, and it's if you go to a specific area, the frame rate's going to run lower than in different areas, and even with like a 3080 Ti, and like even on 1080p, it still it has those issues, stuttering, frame dips. And it's not even like the bugs or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
it's the consistency of frame rate. Is the audio messed up or is it just me? Is
is
that
it
I can
me?
I can see the audio working on my end. I'm not sure. I can hear you just fine.
Let me listen.
Let me see. That just may be my computer. Or no, never mind, it's my speaker. Ah, Rouster, no worries, no worries. Made us do a little audio check there, if anything. So moving on to or sorry, you were saying that Jedi Survivor, not great frame rate. They need to stabilize it. Were you trying? So my understanding, when you're on PC, you do not pick between performance and quality, right? It's not like a console experience.
No, I swapped different things. Turned off chromatic aberration. I I lowered shadows. I lowered like specific things to try and make it a more optimal experience on my end. And I was having trouble, like as I said before. I think lowering it to 1080p was probably my best bet, and it helped. But I mean, I could still tell the frame dips when they did happen, and it's a bit disappointing. I'm probably gonna wait till another update or two and try again, um, to really get deep into the game.
Right. All right. Yeah. I completely understand that. I was even contemplating that, but just like loving the gameplay experience, getting into it. I've been enjoying the story and getting into the Star Wars universe. I was just craving it for so long, and then it released, and it's like, how can I wait on something that I have in my hands, even though it's not the best shape? And like when you turn on
And
performance mode in Horizon Forbidden West, you feel it. You feel the frame rates and you feel the crisp clarity. In this game, it's no like aha moment. It's just like it falls flat of that performance mode that I was hoping for.
I and by the way, like this isn't just well, I was really looking forward to this game, and I think that's what's kind of disappointed me the most. Like I even ordered the collector's edition, so I've actually got the Cal
Oh,
Kestis's lightsaber. So yeah,
nice.
it's quite heavy actually.
Real, yeah. Is that like
Yeah, it's like
real
because it's metal, like it's metal,
metal?
and
Wow.
it's big too.
Jeez. And is it? It's only got the single saber, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't
if
have
I
the.
wanted, like, you can actually buy an attachment to like connect it to have like a double, but I would have to order another like
Top piece.
one of these.
Oh
So
wow.
you're looking at like 500 plus. Like if you're gonna
And
do
does it
that.
have the beam or no?
Oh no, it didn't come with that.
Yeah.
That's like an additional cost. I can order one,
Wow.
and I think it's like $70 for the beam,
Wow.
which is cheaper than the handle. The handle, I looked it up, is like 250 for just this.
It'd be pretty
I mean, I
cool to
dropped
have a
300.
lightsaber. Is that your only lightsaber or do you have others?
Yeah, that's my only one.
Well, everyone's got to have one
I,
lightsaber. I understand that.
exactly.
It's the best zombie fighting tool. That's for sure. All right. The next story I thought was really awesome to see on your feed here. Which, okay, to me, does this not look like an AI generated image? If you've ever seen one. Moon Rover Games, founded by devs who worked on Far Cry, Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, and The Division. So Ubisoft. And who does Battlefield? EA? I can't remember. EA does Battlefield, right?
Yeah, EA
Yeah.
does Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, and so Far Cry and The Division are Ubisoft. So
Right. So it's EA and Ubisoft, and they're getting together. Moon Rover, this fun little dog on the moon here. I don't know how it's not wearing protective gear, but okay. So it's a Stockholm, Sweden company. And they also made Star Wars Battlefront, and they're going to make an ambition cooperative action game built around a new IP designed to generate unique, emergent gameplay stories that players can truly make their own. So, I mean, all of those things sound beyond exciting. And of course, they want to sound ambitious for fundraising and all that good stuff. But I'm excited to see a new studio into the mix. And who doesn't love a dog as a logo? Um, but yeah, pretty cool. Do you have any comments on this studio? Um, any excitement, hesitations, red flags? Are you looking to get a job here at Moon River Studio?
Oh,
Rover?
is that what you're looking for?
No, everything's in Stockholm. I already looked.
Yeah, I'm excited whenever there's a new studio that opens up, and I want to see what creative minds create. I mean, it can be a small studio, it can be a big studio, and just seeing that there's a consistent flow of people creating these studios, creating these experiences, and hopefully, you know, attracting me with my money, something that I want to play.
Exactly. I mean, when they say ambition, co op, multiplayer, action, like I want to see that game now. So I'm excited as well. And Bliss, you can be a lead animator, a gameplay programmer, a game producer, an open application. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure you could do any of these things. And there's even more jobs you can look into. So if you want to check it out, Bliss, and move to Stockholm yourself, moonrivergames.com. All right. Fun gaming news, new studios. Thank you, Maker, for bringing this to our attention. Uh, Sega's been making some headlines with some interesting news. They want to unionize, in my understanding. So that's always great to see some independence from the gaming world getting together, getting what's right for them. So this includes 144 workers based out of the company's Irvine, California headquarters. So I assume they'll be getting decent pay for work of like living wages. So yeah, good to
Yeah.
see this in the tech industry as a standard. What's up, Jeff? Thanks for
Uh,
stopping by.
I don't think it's quite the standard yet, but it's always good to see that more and more companies are opening up to union or unionization and unions.
Absolutely. Here, I'm gonna give it a big old heart. There we go. So that's some cool news to know and a nice factoid if you're at the water cooler. Be like, did you know Sega, the game with Sonic, they unionized in California? We should unionize, and then you get that started. If you're not unionized and you want to be at your water cooler and you're listening to this, uh, we getting into GeForce Now comments on the Activision Nvidia situation. So I wanted to read out their point of view here because I found it to be interesting and I wanted to give them a platform to say it some more. So, GeForce Now and other cloud gaming providers stand to gain an even deeper catalog of games if Microsoft's acquisition of Activision is completed. We see this as a benefit to cloud gaming and hope for a positive resolution. So I absolutely feel the same way. You know what? I don't think we should be standing in the way of these businesses, and I would like to see what happens in a world where things like this can exist, where Call of Duty is on a subscription, where there's more ability given to the cloud. So my xCloud actually runs extremely well here. Could be other end benefits that I'm not even thinking of yet, but that's my point of view. I'm not an expert, I'm more of an enthusiast, but I hope for the best for these guys, and we'll see if they're able to counteract or if it'll just sort of fizzle out where it is here. I know Maker has been discussing his point of views on this on other podcasts, and we'll give him a platform here if you want to comment on GeForce Now and their sort of statement out here.
Yeah, I personally I do think it's beneficial if if GeForce has allowed those titles. I know recently, I believe like 9 to 5 and some other people came through and said that even if the deal does not go through, GeForce Now at least get the Xbox games, which is good for GeForce. Um, but I would like to see Activision games in the cloud, like officially. I think it would help further cloud gaming, bringing more titles that people enjoy to play, and just brings new and more audience into the cloud gaming space.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think if more people play cloud gaming infrastructure would be better. And I wouldn't need an Xbox to enjoy Xbox games because I felt like that was going to be the situation. But their cloud infrastructure for where I am is just not holding up. So either put your games on GeForce Now so I can play them, or make xCloud better, in my opinion. Jeff, unions suck. Fire them all and hire at low wage. Jeff, poor people in California. I want them to have living wages. So we must digress on our points here. We must separate there. But thank you for sharing your opinion on the matter. And yeah, my wife's laughing. So this is the portion of the show where I like to go over some game clips and have some fun here. This game clip is from the Bloodborne series. Maker was here on the boss attempt here, and what's funny about this is how much damage this NPC does. So we're gonna take a look here. And Maker, I apologize if it's a little loud on the earmuffs.
Wilson, if you're watching this boss fight, you'll see a certain similarity to Elden Ring, which Yeah. Oh, what? How did that just happen? Was that you? What was that? I just saw the health melt.
Yeah, that would see.
I believe it. You can't hear what I'm saying, but I was telling you that it was the NPC using those magic attacks that just chunked the health. They went from like 30% down to like 0 in seconds.
Yeah, that was insane damage. What do you think of Mr. Wonderful? Think of unions? Of course, they deserve 500 times the salary of the plebs. Oh my gosh, people are really on the unionization. But yeah, absolutely. That NPC Magic Man was able to melt that boss away. And I think we were attempting a couple times on that. The spiders were really starting to bug us.
I think it was our third attempt.
Yeah, because
we had fourth.
We had beat it in your world, and then came back to mine, and then had some struggles with the spiders, and then brought in the Magic Man, who just who performed very well for us. Here we have our next clip coming up, and I see it here, but we're gonna figure out what it is as soon as it comes up.
Thank you. But I can manage. That's right.
So that was just a show. Sorry, Maker, for any spoilers. I should have warned you about that.
No, you're good. I knew that they were in the game, and I'm excited to see what happens between the two of them. Aside from that scene.
Yeah, I was mostly just showing off that the Obi-Wan Kenobi robes, which looked pretty cool. and the fact that my guy went with I went with the man bun and the
Man,
rough
yeah.
shave. So real cool customization. I even customized my BD1 to be a Pink Taco-esque character,
I
and
saw it.
the matching lightsaber is pink. So I'm having a lot of fun with all the customizational options. Now I want to make sure. I hope this is in Jedi Survivor. I think okay, it
Maybe.
is. It is, but it won't be a spoiler. It's just
Okay.
this is me playing on Grandmaster, and this is why I don't stream Grandmaster attempts.
All set.
Oh, it's punishing. Just one hit, and they got you.
Yeah. That
Oh.
looks like fun.
Yeah, the Rancor on the Grandmaster. I'm not sure I'll be continuing, but it's hard for me to find that nice spot between not too difficult and challenging. So I feel like the Jedi
Yeah.
Master is a little easy for me, where the Grandmaster is just punishing. But I feel like I can do the Grandmaster if I'm just focusing on the game. But a lot of time when I game, and it may not be the same with you, but I'm watching TV with my wife, I'm on Discord talking to everybody at the same time. Like I'm multitasking. I don't know. Do you play games like full concentration into it, or are you often multitasking?
It depends on the game. Um, obviously, if it's something that I'm really struggling with, I want my full concentration on it. Um, but if I'm just kind of like chilling with the game, not really doing anything super story intensive, I'll usually throw up something like a movie or a show or YouTube while I'm playing. So a little bit of like noise in the background while I, just enjoy the gameplay.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, so everyone's multitasking out here. We're of that generation.
Yeah,
Well,
ADHD generation.
yeah. Um, well, I want to thank my special guest for coming on today, Maker of Chaos. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on for a second week of the leveling up the podcast. Thank you, thank you. Rouster heading off to bed. Good night, all. Yes, thank you for coming on by. I do appreciate you staying up late to listen to the cast. We'll catch you later and rest up. And with that, we come to an end of another fantastic episode of Cloud&Console. We hope you enjoyed listening to our discussion on the most exciting games of our time, and we hope you found it both informative and entertaining. As always, we appreciate your support and encourage you to like and subscribe our podcast. Your continued support means everything to us, and we can't wait to continue sharing our passion for gaming with you. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Maker, with your lightsaber in hand, do you have any final words for the cast?
May the force be with you.
Yes, and until next time, we'll catch you out there. Take care. Rudiggity out.